The following show features episodic breakdowns of Jackass, either performed by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. For your safety, avoid listening to this podcast at all times. Hi, I'm Mikey Aaronworth.
I'm Jason Wellwood.
And I'm Chris Aaronworth.
Welcome to Jackass.
Welcome to Jackast. It's the podcast where we're on a path of destruction through every single episode of Jackass.
We're three lifelong fans of the show, reliving the belly laughs, bad ideas, and broken bones.
Today we are doing 4.5 Part 2.
Yeah, baby.
Pardon.
Do you remember the movie Hot Shots Part 2?
I do remember Hot Shots Part 2. You know what?
One of the best parody movies ever.
I need to rewatch Hot Shots because of my new love for Top Gun. Have you guys seen Maverick yet? Have you both seen Maverick?
No, have not.
I saw it with you, Mikey. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah.
Right, that's true. That's true. I forget because I lost myself when I was seeing the movie. It was the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life.
Mike,
apart from
you
all
came
the
out
Jackass
since and
movies.
said I was the best person you could have watched that movie with.
Yeah, that's true. But also, I've done copious amounts of drugs and alcohol since then, so my memory is just a little bit hazy. That's it.
Cool. Sounds good.
Hey, I know we're like starting the podcast off here and we have to do our, rattle off the intro, let people know why we're here. But since we're talking about old movies coming back, did you guys see that there's a new Beavis and Butthead coming out pretty soon?
No, I did not.
Yeah, it's called Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe.
Amazing.
I'm so fucking stoked. It comes out in like a couple weeks, I think.
They better have an intergalactic psychedelic trip like they did in the desert in the first one.
Oh, right.
Dude, it's going to be great. Yeah, fucking 90s nostalgia is just like fucking taking over everything right now.
Which is great because it's all us getting to the age and then being like, hey, look, we've got money to spend on nostalgia now. Like, we didn't have income when we were watching these things as kids. Now we're just like, hey, we're the demographic. We're the market now.
Dude, yeah, just watch. Just about the time that we run out of shit to talk about on this podcast, it's going to blow up real good for us.
Exactly.
There'll be nothing left to talk about. The 2000s is on the way. I can feel it.
Hell yeah.
But speaking of the 2000s, we're here to talk about some shit that may have originated in the 2000s, but baby, it's all about 2022 and Jackass 4.5. Yeah, the boys are at it again. Chris, did you have a fun fact this time? Am I cutting into your fun fact time?
No, because I kind of blew my load last week. After coming back, I should have saved like the 6 that I did last week because I was like looking forward and I literally grabbed everything I could think. So I didn't really think that one through. I came back with a vengeance and kind of fucked myself for the next week. So,
all right.
I don't know. I'm gonna maybe I'll try and get a little creative next week.
Shit, man. I understand, though, and if it's fitting enough...
Don't let him off the hook. What are you doing, Jay? He has one job. What are you doing? He has one thing to do per episode, apart from watch the show that we're doing.
No, Mikey. I have a huge job. It's to carry your ass.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
to look all handsy over there, too. I see you're growing your hair out, huh?
Yeah.
I'm trying
to go. A new look?
It's so great. I saw my barber guy playing soccer the other day, and he's like... took off his hat and he had blonde hair. He's like, we're doing this for you. It hides the grays. I was like, I am kind of going through a midlife crisis right now, so why not?
Yeah, fuck yeah, buddy. But hey, you may have blew your load too soon on the fun fact thing, but don't worry, we've got plenty of cum. Because if you remember last time where we left off, man, we got the cum. It was wee man covered in the, I said it was horse semen, but it was not. It was pig semen. Pig semen. My notes were not corrected.
Well, it's because as we went over, and this actually got edited out of the episode because Chris had some technical difficulties, so we had to play a little fast and loose with that. Apologies for the people who were watching it over on YouTube, but it wasn't. Johnny was saying hog semen, and it sounded like he was boar semen, and it sounded like he was saying horse semen.
See, just carrying you, Mikey, just like usual.
I'll accept that one. That was a good save, man. You know what? Talk about you always listen to podcasts and the hosts always complain about making one little mistake and the number of people who come out of the woodworks to correct you on it all the time. And it's like, we're not as big as like the biggest podcast, but we're of a size now where every single episode I get people coming out like, how did you miss this? What did you like, guys?
Yes, we made it. Guys. Oh, I was waiting for this moment. We're here. We arrived.
It takes me an hour at least to watch 20 minutes worth of Jackass because I'm taking notes.
I've never made a mistake and I just breeze through it.
Well, it's hard to make a
He's
mistake
got a
when
pretty
you are
clean
one,
record.
Chris.
You can't argue with that right there.
Yeah. It's no, but it's amazing how like you'll still miss little things. Like I'm stopping and starting as we go. Sometimes I like to get a little bit high before we watch it so I can, make some funnier comments and things like that. So if I miss like something little, I guess I apologize. I don't know. I think here's the thing. I think people are coming out and doing the corrections out of love. I'm grateful that people are listening in that much detail. Keep on doing it because, I like to know when these things come up, but take the hatred out of your voice. I think for those of you who have a little bit of tinge of animosity when you do it.
See, I completely disagree. Hammer Mikey really hard with it. If I make a mistake, just let it slide, just brush it under the rug. Say hello. Say, Chris, we love you. But if Mikey does it, because he will lose fucking sleep at night, and I need him to get as gray as I've been going. So just fucking keep hammering with it,
You know what's hilarious too is people are totally going to do exactly what you just said.
I know.
You're going to see a ton of "We love you, Chris" in the comments.
I shouldn't have fucking brought it up. I don't know when I became the heel of the podcast. Like, sorry for caring so much, but now I'm just like the whipping boy of all this. It's whatever.
I think it's sometime around the point where you started abducting all those children from public parks, probably.
Oh, so when I was like
there.
19 years old, man, I've been. That's like 14 years of experience. This only started recently.
I'm having fun. Can we just do this for the rest of the show? Is that all right?
I would say that, except for definitely one of my favorite bits is the next one up on the docket.
All right. Let's get into it then. So Darkshark is here to get a little bit of behind the scenes action. Finally, I was hoping we'd see more behind the scenes in this venue. They're in the room with the bear. The bear where Aaron's chained to the chair. Hey, look at me.
Are you making a nursery rhyme right now?
Yeah, dude. No, that's just some straight. I'm spitting truth over here.
He's a poet. And he doesn't even know it, Mikey.
I didn't know it. Listen, though, good thing he has a plaid shirt to hide behind, though, so he'll be all right. Don't worry about any bears. When you have a plaid shirt, they can't see you anymore. Knoxville does remind Darkshark here that the trees painted on the wall are not real, and no, you cannot climb them to get away from the bear.
The funniest idea is him hiding behind his plaid. Like, what does he expect to be doing? And he just like flattens himself against the wall. It like his reactions just make no sense to me. And especially Chris, like you were talking about in a recent episode about how ingrained he was in this gang culture and how he must
he's
have
a
done
fucking
like,
gangster for sure.
He's a gangster, and they go over. Yeah, it was, and they go over a lot of his past experiences in this movie explicitly later on during the skydiving portion. But it's like, how does he have this much fear? Like, if this is how he's reacting in these situations, could you imagine someone like pulls a gun on him and he hides behind his plaid shirt? Like, he couldn't be having the same things.
I think it comes down to like it goes to show how powerful the brain is. Like you could deal with the most aggressive situations if it's what you're used to dealing with, which is why I find the Darkshark concept in this so funny and just in general. Like he probably had guns pulled on him all the time. I think he said he got shot a bunch of times.
He was shot 9 times. I remember him saying that.
He probably reacted so stone cold. You know what I mean? Like, but he, like you said, he's like, any of this white guy shit, any of this shit that's outside of those types of environments freak him out because he's so not used to it. So like, and this is like, I just pictured in his head when he was covering himself up the plaid, he covered his face. Like as if I can't see it, it doesn't exist right now. You know what I mean? It was just like the most honest reaction.
He did the same thing I used to do when I thought there were ghouls and goblins in my bedroom. I was like,
it's hiding under the covers.
Exactly.
The ghosts can still stab you. The bad guy can still touch you. He can see you, but you feel safer when you don't have to look at it for some reason. Well, I just can't believe they did this to him, knowing how like when you saw how scared they were when they did the tarantula thing.
Yeah.
And he's grabbing them, and they were so scared to get him pissed off at them that they literally just made Danger Aaron like take the punishment of the prank, even though he won. So for them to actually do the bear thing of everything, like it blew me away. Like I thought this was so good. Because they got to be
on the other side of the glass. That's
true.
Yeah.
Behind the metaphorical blanket, if
right.
you will.
right.
And this whole segment is just fucking great to see. I was hoping that this is what this whole fucking 4.5 thing was going to be, man.
Yeah,
just
same.
like, I want to see how this shit came together, and we're getting a lot of it, and there's a lot more great stuff to come. I don't really have much more to say about this.
I have one last thing to say. The bear actually bit him in the ass.
Dude, it's a millennial bear.
Right.
It is tame. It's a millennial.
Kind of gnawed on him a little bit.
Just loves eating that ass, dog.
Loves eating that ass, yeah.
Get in there. Oh, man. Speaking of eating ass, there's something later in this that is... We'll get there. I don't need to do that right now. But Dave Dave England, he actually says it on camera here, and we already mentioned this before, but it comes up right now. He developed PTSD shooting this film. So, hey, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. We were fucking right again. How do you like that, boys?
PTSD, baby.
And what a transition, because once Dave's on screen talking about PTSD, you know he must be referencing the Silence of the Lambs. He says this was the sketch that took it too far for him. Dave says he thought he was going to die a painful death in that room. And he's not making a joke there. He actually believes he was going to die in that room.
I believe that he believed that too. I think the Jackass guys are so good at at creating that sense of like, you don't know what the fuck's going to happen. One of the things that I don't want to move past without mentioning is when they talk about his PTSD. Do you guys remember the first clip they showed?
No, is it from one of the old movies?
Yes, it was the doorbell. Right? It was the doorbell where the thing pops out at him.
And that's kind of where we said it developed.
Yes, and it turns out that's what it was. Because he's so
fucking good, eh?
When he's just like, he's looking around, he's like, I don't understand what the fuck, what did you do to me? Yeah. And that fear, that tearful, like, wincing look never left him from that doorbell moment onwards.
I fucking hope Dave England is an organ donor. And we get to find out what happened to his brain when he passes away, because I don't know if that's like going too far to make a joke about that, but like when the guy took the fucking doorbell thing to the head, it feels like he became a different person after that. That's not a good thing. I mean, okay, look at like fucking professional hockey players and the shit they go through with head traumas. It's a scary world, man. I kind of wonder if this guy's got a little bit of that going on.
I think everyone's got an element. Everyone on Jackass has an element of CTE. Like, you can't avoid it when you've had 4 or 5 concussions. But I think it's more about this. Look, for so long, Jackass was just, let's go on set, we'll fuck around, and then we'll go home and we'll do our thing. Dave took the doorbell thing, and if you don't know what we're talking about, I think it was from Jackass 2, and it was a little prank, and it turns out from the behind the scenes, we found out that he was just going over to Johnny Knoxville's house. They weren't shooting. There was none of that.
He was going to load up his iPod.
Going to load up his iPod with songs. And
the goddamn iPod story.
An action as innocent as ringing a doorbell resulted in him nearly dying. And for the rest of his life now, he has to go around thinking this could happen at any moment.
He probably doesn't ring doorbells anymore. Yeah, exactly. Like full stop.
That would not be a fun life to live. Like literally being on the edge at all times.
Yes. And here's the craziest thing. They take advantage of it. Did you guys hear how long the Silence of the Lambs lasted for each of the groups?
No, I missed that.
Hit me.
20 minutes. They were in that room for 20 minutes. Jesus and Christ. I know if you're out there and you're thinking like 20 minutes, that's not a lot of time. Go right now as you're listening to this. Go put yourself in a plank position on the ground. Go for 45 seconds and tell me how long that felt. Now turn the lights off and have people torturing you and tell me that 45 seconds doesn't feel like 45 hours or a year of your life. 20 minutes in that state would be literal torture.
You might not be able to come back from that fully.
No, I don't think you can.
Especially because you're just in the fucking dark the whole time, too. I think that just makes time go even slower, you know? You have no frame of reference for anything.
I'm so happy they did this stunt, and I'm even more happy that they gave more time to it to hear from the guys behind the scene and really... Like, we might think it's funny and it's not that scary, you know what I mean? Because you're just getting caught up in the moment. You laugh at their reactions thinking they might be hamming it up a little bit. And when you get to see them talking about it after, it's like a new appreciation for it comes because it was a gnarly sketch.
No, Dave literally says he thinks they took it too far. And I don't think he's joking. I think he legitimately in his heart believes that they overstepped. And we benefit from that, but it does kind of suck to know that he felt betrayed on set.
Yeah, I don't know. It's easy to feel sympathy for Dave England. He seems like such a good, solid dude. It's like when he gets fucked with, you feel like, why Dave? Yeah. Why did it have to be Dave, you know?
It could have been Aaron, jeez.
Could have been Aaron, then nobody would be complaining, right? That's the thing. But hey, you know, there's something to be said when you have Eric Andre, who is like the master of fucking with people on set, talking about how scared he was to see what these guys go through. He clearly does not want to be here. I think it's funny though, because it's like a reversal of he does this to people day in and day out on the Eric Andre show, and now he's kind of like he's the guest on the show, and I don't think he likes the role reversal. Like he does the he makes the mistake that SteveO mistakes, and he goes to take a piss, right? Yeah. And I'm just thinking, oh, that's good. You know, he's going to go drain the lizard, whatever. And then immediately when he opens that door, I'm just like, oh, wait a second. Eric, no, don't go in there. Eric, don't pee. Don't do it. And of course, the thing fucking explodes. So he pissed all over himself. And
it's so funny, too,
so
because it's like, you could tell by the daylight that was like first thing in the morning. You know,
Yes.
like his day
Early
started
morning,
off by
yeah.
like, what do? You literally pissed your entire pants. Sometimes when you put your dick back in and there's still like one last little squirt, it's really uncomfortable for a long time.
Yeah.
And this is a full blown piss job, and you have to just go about your day. It's not like you brought a change of pants.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Fuck. And
It's great. I like these little pranks, and as you mentioned, Jay, in the last episode, we get a lot more of the crew to crew stunts because they couldn't do men on the street pranks after COVID started, and we know that this was during COVID because the whole thing starts off with Eric coming on set doing the nose swab. He's got the mask on, but he's also pissing with the door open. That's weird. Why are you doing that, Eric?
It's comfortable with the guys, you know?
Comfortable with the
I
guys.
piss with the door open all the time.
Maybe he was scared that they were going to do something, so he wanted to keep one eye out the door.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
Not
fair
expecting
enough.
it to literally explode.
Yeah. Fuck, the one plate. You can't even have your piece in the bathroom.
It's like, I'm not even part of you guys. And you're going to explode me? Like, come on.
Now you're going to explode me. Famous last words. I want that on my tombstone. Now you're going to explode me?
Do you watch much of the Eric Andre show at all?
I fucking love that show.
You get into it?
I never have, no.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris, you would love it. You
I
would
bet I would. I just never got
into it,
around to it, yeah.
You got to check it out, dude. Like, I took a bit of a break from it, and I just starting to catch up now on season 5, which isn't by any stretch new anymore, but I've been just watching that, and there's a fucking free live stream if you go on Adult Swim of all the old episodes.
Yeah.
Sometimes just for comfort, baby, I'll put that shit on, and it still hasn't lost its luster. And I'll even say this, boys, this might be controversial on this podcast. I think I like Eric Andre's show better than I like this show. No jokes.
Jackass or Jackass?
Yeah. I'm like laughing hysterically through the Eric Andre show more so than when I watch an episode of Jackass. Not saying guys, Jackass is shit.
Flood Jay's DMs, flood the messages.
Lucky
I'm going to be the only safe one.
I'm nowhere to be found.
Yeah. He is kind of a ghost. He's like
ghost.
One of those ghost guys from movies.
Oh, good reference, Chris. Wow. Did you think about that one before we started recording?
Dude, I'm not like you. I don't plan out every possible conversation. I have 15 jokes lined up ready to go.
Well, maybe you should be because that shit sucked.
It was cool in my head.
You know what? Just like Mikey plans all of the conversations he's going to have in his day, you know, you can't get all the plans for the movie into the movie. And this is one that, Mikey, you expressed a little bit of regret not seeing in the movie. This is Big Game Hunting, the elephant gun we only heard about in the credits of Jackass Forever now makes its appearance. Everybody is dressed up as hunters. Just think fucking Steve Irwin, I guess.
Like not even like hunters like you would think. They're dressed up like the African big game, like the Monopoly Man kind of guy,
like Tarzan's dad from the Disney Tarzan movie. They're all they're all cosplaying as him. Yeah.
What are you fucking talking about the Monopoly Man? He wears a tuxedo.
No, but it reminded me of Ace Ventura: Pet Detective too. You know what I mean? When he's with that Monopoly, just like that whole party, that's how everyone was dressing. And I can't really figure out how to word things, so it's
a British
expect you guys to be in my brain.
Where it was a lot, and it was like you'd go out in groups of people, and the pomp and circumstances around this one, because they're hunting 3 elephants. It's Wee Man, Preston Lacy, and Zackass, the new size-based members of the Jackass crew. there's just the whole group. It's like, now, man. We need to make fun of the size and shapes of people. Let's line up Wee Man, Zackass, and Preston Lacy.
They've always fucking done that.
It's so perfect. No, but I mean, it makes logical sense because 2 of them are elephants, the 2 biggest people, and then they have the baby elephant, who's the smallest person.
It's adorable. I love the setup of this one. They're basically shooting this high-powered, I think it's tennis balls in there, but like crazy high speeds with some sort of air compressor or something like that. The pomp and circumstance in this one is amazing. You've got Dave Englund loading up the rifle like with an old musket style. Jasper's just like
fucking
dancing.
Rifle too.
He's just like, the rifle is literally like this size. It's probably 12 feet long, and they need 3 people to carry it. And they're just slowly walking up to the elephants and making dumb jokes. Like before they fire, they're just like, "God save the queen, God save the queen," and then they just like fired. Like that shit that's peak Jackass for me. Yeah, you want to see someone get hurt. You want to see a little bit of pranks and this and that, but it's the absurd humor that goes along with it, the dressings of the prank that I think makes a good prank great. And it turns out that I think the only reason this one didn't make it into the final cut is because it's cut short by an explosion later on at some point in the recording, which we'll get to eventually.
You know what I loved? It's another thing that we touch on. This seems to be a common thread because I'm just giving ourselves a pat on the back. We're talking about a lot, especially in the Jackass Forever episodes, Tremaine just egging the guys on and really getting them to do that extra shot, sometimes for no reason, maybe for his own enjoyment, which leads to these good behind the scene moments. And we're wondering how he gets that done. And they really break down the good cop, bad cop between Knoxville and Tremaine. So like, Tremaine's like, yeah, just Johnny could walk up and just get him to do something, you know? And I'm sitting there egging him on. I thought it was really interesting because we're literally talking about that. And again, they went back and explained this type of situation. And it was just funny to have them confirm it.
Specifically what you're talking about is when Preston takes a shot that's like super heavy right in probably the liver or something like that. And and he's down for the count and Jeff goes to Johnny like, we need more. But then you're right. It's Johnny's job to soften it up and be like, oh, Preston, you got another one. And you right. And like, I think the reason that works is because Jeff is never the one, or very seldom the one, putting his own body on the line. And it's kind of like when you have Tom Cruise on set with you, the story is that he's the hardest worker in every movie he's in. So if he's okay filming more or doing a stunt or this and that, you have to be, because he's the star, he's the highest paid, and he's also willing to work harder than you. So when Johnny says you got to take another shot, you do it, because if Johnny were in your position, he would too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's it. I love the revenge, though. You guys want to talk about the revenge here? Yeah. So Tremaine, all comfy and cozy in his director chair for most of this. There's a point where he has to get up, what we're talking about here, and kind of make sure everyone's okay and egg him on a little bit. But as he's standing there, behind him, Knoxville and the crew have wandered away, and they've got the elephant gun ready, up on their shoulders, just like 4 men hoisting this fucking thing up. Knoxville's already laughing so much that I can't believe Tremaine didn't notice something was up right behind him. But he's just over there doing director shit, and next thing you know, and this is literally right before Tremaine says to the camera, "The guys don't like seeing me get hurt." Yes. That's his excuse for not doing any stunts.
And immediately everyone who's with him in that portion of the interview, I know Spike Jonze is there, just turns on him like, what the fuck are you talking about? We love to see you get hurt. Like, you're not some pariah.
They fucking shoot this thing at him, and it hits him right in the back, and he just goes down. And it's fucking hilarious to watch Knoxville here, because, you know, he's just eating this shit up. And when they're resetting after Tremaine's like, you know, back up off the ground and they're going to do the sketch again, he's just laughing so much. He says, I'm on cloud 9. I've dropped my accent and everything. Like, he no longer gives a shit. Like, his day, nothing's going to top this. That's the peak for him. Well, I loved it.
I mean, this all kind of comes back. This was probably a step removed from them figuring out whether, I mean, like Spike Jonze in the first part of our review in one of the interviews very early on says, we're just going to film some stuff and see if the movie comes to us, right? And in that sense, there were some moments in 4.5 where it felt like they were just kind of doing it for themselves. And that energy seems to have been maintained even when they decided we're going to make this a movie. Like Johnny, like you said, he's just laughing his ass off. He's there for him. And he kind of realizes, like, if he's having a good time, the audience is going to have a good time. And we did, because this was fantastic. And then there's an explosion in the distance because a Port A Potty goes up in flames. And the way that they run over to the, like, drop everything. They just drop everything and run over. It felt like fucking summer camp. Like, oh, let's go see what's going on in the Port A Potty area. And they're all like, yeah, like gleefully, like fucking little children. And the energy just looked like it was so much fun. You forget that it would be miserable on the set of a Jackass movie, because every so often you get insights into their experiences like this, where they're just having a fucking blast.
Yeah, I feel like the whole fucking time they were on set, that Port A Potty just must have been like rigged up at all times. You never know when it's going to go off, even in the middle of a sketch. It's fucking great. And Aaron went to go poop. I don't know if this was this what was connected to the, is this the segue or is this separate? I don't know, but Aaron goes to take a shit in the Port A Potty.
This was Aaron exploding in the Port A Potty was what turned
it
all
didn't
their
happen
attention
during
away.
The elephant gun, did it?
Yeah,
yes.
it did.
This is what happened. Okay, sorry, I couldn't remember if this was much later. But anyway, so it's Aaron in there, right? And we just got to talk about his reaction here, because most guys get out of there and they're a little confused, but they start laughing. I could predict how Aaron would respond here. He goes in there, it explodes. He comes out holding the toilet paper roll, so fucking pissed, and he's just yelling at the top of his lungs, like an angry teenager whose friends just played some prank on him or something. Like, you know, I don't know, left him in the middle of the school fucking dance with his pants down or something. He's just yelling at the top of his lung, like with a vengeance. Like he's going to live the rest of his teenage years to find a way to come back.
Like his identity is now based on the fact that he was caught in this prank. Yeah.
That's it. And he's just yelling, fuck you guys at the top of his lungs. Fuck you guys. Like he's enraged. He's not even enjoying it one bit. Like, dude, a toilet just blew up. Laugh a little bit. It's a poop joke. It's funny. But again, Aaron just taking things a little too personally, maybe. I don't know what it is. He gets fucked with all the time. I know.
I actually think, you know, kind of like what Chris was saying in the last episode, I think he's just so aware, especially 10 years removed from the last instance of Jackass. He's aware of what makes Aaron Aaron. And I think like we had this in the butt chug, the hot sauce butt chug as well, when they have the pump and the hot sauce goes into his eye, and you can tell he's kind of laughing, but then he tries to get angry again. And he's like, he is playing into that. I think he's recognized what his character is essentially, and he channels that every so often. It wouldn't be the same if Aaron started laughing about getting pranked. That's not his vibe, and I think he knows that, to his credit.
And I think he's never known it more than coming into this movie. Like, he really embraced it, and that might be the reason why he probably is the MVP of the entire movie.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And him finally understanding this role and really learning how to play into it. We always talk about how Johnny plays into the things when he has these little comments, or you know, Pontius knowing exactly what he needs to do. I think he just didn't have that identity down properly before. Now he's got it, and it shows. He's one of the members everyone's talking about.
I totally agree.
He gets a lot of screen time in this movie, and he does some of the craziest shit. I'll agree with you guys on that, but I still think he's a fucking spaz. That's all I'm saying. So this next one just kind of comes into our lives. What are you, Johnny? I'm a fucking flamingo. What do you think? He looks like a pink garbage bag. Like, this is the worst flamingo costume I've ever seen in my life.
They did not have a big budget for this. Yeah, this one is like the costumes on this. It's like they knew this one wasn't going to make the final cut.
See, this is one of the ones I wish did. I really like this one.
But it's like
good concept.
If they thought that, then why do we have this? Unless they wanted to make it rinky dink, and that was the appeal of it. But this almost felt like a test run to see whether or not it could make the final thing.
True. Yeah, I could see that for sure.
So what this is the Swing Set Gauntlet. You've basically got 4 mythical creatures: cow, flamingo, lobster, sloth. Dudes are swinging on the playground swing set. Hold on, don't get too excited there, Mikey. The guys have to slide by slowly, very slowly, on these big boxes that are just kind of being pushed along the ramp, and they're trying to balance. And basically, if they can get through and avoid the swings, which, come on, we all know that's not going to happen, because even if they manage to do it fair, someone's just going to push them back into the swings or something. I love Dave's reaction here. He's like looking for approval because he gets knocked off, and he says, "Did I do it right?"
Well, Dave's is so unfair because, you know, they're on that conveyor belt as they're going, and they stop Dave right in front of, I think it's Aaron, in front of his swing set, and Aaron just goes and full on drop kicks him. And it's to me, that's the kind of thing in a Jackass stunt that I don't like, where, like we talked about with Danger Aaron in the bear sketch, where it's like you're taking away the chance of them getting away with it, and you're rigging it against them. It's always a little bit more fun when happenstance is the reason why they get hurt, and there's always this like, will they get hit and will they not? When they flat out stop the conveyor belt in front of Aaron, he just gets to like really wind up and kick him. Immediately Aaron knows that kind of wasn't cool, because he stops, he gets off, and he's like, oh shit, guys, like that was, I felt my heel hit his liver. Like he inside his rib cage, he was like playing the xylophone on his ribs with his toes. It was, yeah, Dave literally flew and landed on like that sheet on his head.
Yes. Like like, I don't think they expected it to go that way. Kind of like with the exploding chairs when they land on when Wee Man lands backwards on the thing. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't really prepare for all this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And what about Nick Merlino with a yoga ball, a lobster on a yoga ball trying to defend his place, his position. But when he gets kicked, watch out, boys. Sure you can. Dude. Fucking dragon uppercut spins through the air, upright down B. Am I right?
100%.
This is the second Street Fighter reference in 2 episodes. I like it.
The weirdest thing about this for me was it might be the first time it seemed like Pontius actually wanted to hurt somebody. Like,
dude, Pontius he
was
on a different
really
level
excited.
In this
He's
one.
like, I'm gonna fuck you up, and I was like, that doesn't sound like Pontius. He's always so like jokey and happy-go-lucky. And fuck, does he ever wind up and swing? He hits him so hard. The funniest thing is if you look in the background after Poopies is so shocked by the hit. He just like, you'll just see him falling in the background. I don't know if he fell jumping off the swing or whatever, but he takes a big spill in the back corner of the thing, which I just happened to glance and notice.
No, because it's slow motion and you could see he tries to get off and he just tries to get off his swing too quick and just eats it himself. Like he's But yeah, you're right, Chris. There was something about Pontius in this one. And here's my thinking. I don't think he actually wanted to hurt someone. I think that Pontius just has such an inner child that you put him on a swing set and he just becomes a kid like that. He was just channeling the energy of someone who believes he and his friends or they and their friends are invincible and just fucking goes for it. Right. Like
I was just asking you, do you remember when we were kids and we had a seesaw set and I was like, we got to play Ninja Turtles. I'm like, so like to choreograph it, I'm like, you got to like stand where the seesaw is going and duck down.
Right.
And you didn't duck down. I blasted you in the face.
I think you were aiming for me, though.
See, I was being Pontius there.
Yes,
that's like a full stop too. If you hit a teeter totter, that's like full stop.
Dude, it was like it's like a battering ram to the face.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a lot can be explained by looking at Chris and my interactions as kids back in the day. They were something else.
I'm surprised you don't have like a disfiguring scar from that incident. That seems like
lots of plastic surgery. I do have scars on my back from things that Chris did to me.
Was that from the treadmill?
The treadmill, yeah.
When I knocked you off on the treadmill?
Yes. And I got pinned against a wall.
Did you get a burn off the treadmill?
No, I have a scar. I still have a scar on my back to this day.
Gnarly.
But I cover it up like with a Phantom of the Opera mask. It really confuses people. I don't. I love Nick Merlino in this one. I had to rewind the hit that he takes so many times because the way, like, yeah, Jay, you're mentioning like a Shuriken and or a Setsuduken and he's like flying and flipping all over the place. To me, it was like in every anime I've ever watched when someone jumps in the air to avoid a bunch of arrows coming their way and they do that like weird twist barrel roll, like, totally and somehow no arrows hit them because I don't know, they're moving or whatever. He did that exact thing. Like he like froze in the air like he's in Smash Bros, like in a midair like dash avoid or something like that. It was fucking crazy.
A what, Mikey?
A dash avoid.
A mid-air dash avoid?
Midair. Well, I mean, there's mid-air.
You spent a lot of time thinking about that one?
Look it up, Chris. It's a Smash Bros term.
We're trying to make up fucking key terms again. I'm sick of you guys. Fake words, fake dictionary. This fucking show can have its own goddamn dictionary at this point.
And what a dictionary it would be.
It would be mostly shit that Chris made up, though.
Yeah,
let's be real.
Right.
But you know what I mean, so it's all good.
I know what you mean. You're good.
Thank you.
Hey guys, you like old folks? Do you like the way they smell and taste? Do you like the appearance of an old guy?
Depends.
I didn't have a segue, and I tried, and obviously
we have the nice return of Harvey Zistman.
Harvey Irving.
Is that his name?
Irving.
Oh,
Irving.
Irving. I think I confused him and the guy from TMZ.
Okay.
Wait.
Well, he's back in his wheelchair anyway. They're at the spa and fitness center. This one's really fucking strange. I'm excited to talk about this. So, we're talking about not yet. We're talking about an old lady that Irving is really quite fond of, and he wants to pork her. Now, listen, it's this is no ordinary. This is no ordinary situation because the guy pushing him, like he has a handler, right? Like pushing the wheelchair around.
Brad. His name's Brad, yeah.
Brad's this guy's name. Now, we don't know anything about Brad. Brad doesn't know that this is a Jackass stunt. Brad's not in on the gimmick. And once I figured that out, I immediately knew where this was going and I got excited. Fucking Zisman's got game here, boys. He asked Brad, you guys want to have some fun? So he says, okay. Knoxville stands up and he pulls the fucking fire alarm right outside the spa center. And
imagine that happened to you. Like, just imagine that. Trying to explain that and how scared you would be. Like, Oh, it's perfect. Perfect move.
What Chris is saying right there is right on point, because it's an old guy. He's scot-free. You can do whatever the fuck he wants. You can't, like, a guy this old, nobody's going to believe you that was, that, like, they might, but he's going to be so innocent and cute that all he has to do is play that fucking card and he's off the hook. So yeah, Brad, you're fucked.
The thing I found funniest about this one, like this sketch, weirdly, I say this with a bit of hesitation because I don't think it lands, and I think ultimately it's a big fail. But it has the random element and the vibe, and maybe you'll agree with me on this, Jay, of an Eric Andre prank, where the absurdity just keeps on ramping up and getting weirder and bigger and stranger until ultimately it ends where it ends, which is just like, how the fuck did we get here? But the funniest thing about it is how small it starts. With Brad, you said, Jay, that we don't know anything about him. I can paint a picture of Brad. Yeah. Brad is a guy who has waved the... Don't paint me with this brush as I say this, because I think there's a lot of good things that are coming out of these conversations. But Brad is the guy who has waved the woke flag his entire life, always wanting to publicly say the right thing and be on the quote unquote right side. And then when it comes time for him to put up or shut up, he does absolutely nothing to this old man. He doesn't stand up for what he believes. You can tell he just kind of rolls his eyes and like tries to push back a little bit, but Irving pushes right back and then he just gives it up. It's like, hey, 100%. Brad, this was your chance to stand behind what you said instead of tweeting about what you believe. Do something, and Brad did nothing.
Do you think he was just a little distracted by all the dick everywhere?
Well, right. So that's what happens. Like right when he brings it, all these old guys come out. I don't know where they found so many guys with old guys with tiny dicks. Like it made me feel really good about myself. But
some of them are tiny. Some
of
them
are not. I was making a joke. There were some serious fucking hogs in there.
Serious hogs. Holy moly! I wanted to downplay it because I'm like, yo, if you were
what? There were some real ballpark franks in that. That patch there.
Yeah, I think even Knoxville said some comment when he said something like,
dude, it's like those fucking hot dogs that are so goddamn big they don't even fit in the bun, you know?
Yes.
Fuck, man.
Foreskin included. You got it.
Oh, that was such a funny thing. And I feel like I liked it because exactly like you said, I didn't like Brad from the beginning. I could tell I didn't like him as a person. And I think he was very uncomfortable about all of this. So watching him squirm just made me very, very happy in a weird sadistic way.
That was good, but then once it kind of starts to lose the thread and it just keeps getting like there's just a fucking dance party and then there's like a show of hands of who thinks Brad pulled the thing. Like this
but
is
Rachel comes out too though. Don't forget about that. She comes to give him shit, Mikey.
Right,
remember?
Right.
There's that whole awkward segment there where you really get to see Brad sweat in this part because it's not only is it I'm surrounded by a bunch of naked dudes. Yeah, maybe I could handle that, but a girl?
Well, that's even worse. How dare
a girl? I'm just gonna say he's intimidated and he's got that funk of like a guy who's just socially awkward around the opposite sex.
100%.
He's just got that going on about him. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing that when you said like by the end, it's like how do we even get here? What I love is when it starts getting a little weird and uncomfortable, fucking Party Boy makes his fucking appearance.
Party Boy showing up.
And he does the original Party Boy dance with the original song, original outfit. I'm like, this is the fucking best. Like, it just, I did not expect that. You know what I mean? So it was just, I love this.
Yeah.
There are individual individual moments in this which are really good. Like them all coming out and Brad getting blamed for pulling it. That's great. Party Boy coming out. That's great. But having it all in the same minute and a half prank, if you can even call it a prank, just felt like a hat on a hat on a hat on a hat on a hat. Like it was just a little bit too much, even though some of its individual moments were good. Like I love to see Party Boy. That was like a moment in my notes that I was excited about. But it felt to me like one part too much tuna from like Kroll Show and one part a Tim Robinson sketch. Like, especially to the point, like a Tim Robinson sketch from like, I Think You Should Leave, where at the end of it, they just point, it's like, okay, guys, who thinks that Brad did it? And everyone's like, I think. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, this is so weird.
The delivery on that was perfect, by the way. That's exactly, I Think You Should Leave right there.
It really is, right? Yeah.
I gotta ask though too, do you think Brad got it at this point? Does he know Party Boy? Does he know what he's a part of? Or is he that removed? Because he seemed clueless the whole
I really don't think he did. I think he was like getting frustrated, like this is ridiculous type thing, but he didn't have the balls to stand up for himself, as Mikey was saying. But we got to keep in mind, like most of the people that are like would be involved in something like this, that are like signing up for these types of things are a younger generation. That Jackass was way before their time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like it's like at that level where the internet was already out, where there's clips on Instagram and you're seeing all this shit. Like we were watching the movie in the theaters, the guys behind us didn't even know what Jackass really was.
Right.
So it's definitely more than feasible that he had no idea who Party Boy was.
Yeah, I think that's definitely possible.
I have an example and a fucking question here. It's science time, motherfuckers.
Okay.
Because I brought examples. All right.
Cool.
Now, I just got to ask you on this topic, though, this subject specifically. Does that shit, like when you hear something or see something that, you know, is from another time, from your time, and nobody seems in the room or no one in the group seems to be picking up on it, do you feel validated by that, or you just feel fucking old? Because I had this happen. I was watching the recent, like, clips from that recent fucking, it's the video game summer season. You know, they're announcing all the new shit, and they had an Xbox showcase, and this racing game came on, and they're playing Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. You know, you guys know who that is?
No.
In the music. It's a punk band that just does old, like, fucking music from, like, oh shit, they'll do anything. They'll go like from the music from like the 50s and 60s upwards and just cover shit as punk rock tunes. It's got Fat Mike from NoFX playing bass in the band. It's an old punk band, but they're using their music in the fucking trailer, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Me First. And I feel like I'm the only dude watching this who's like, I can't be the only dude, but like, you know, it just makes me feel like an old ass man, and it's like you just feel alone in this fucking room.
It really bothers
like
Mikey. I know it bothers Mikey because like all those, you know, little girls he's trying to pick up, he has no reference point for them anymore. He can't really get them in the car at that point, you know.
So all of this was
Chris,
a setup.
You think I'm not doing my research on? How hard do you think it is for me to watch 20 minutes of a Blippi cartoon? I know all about
you
that
do
guy.
look like Blippi.
I can dress up as Blippi if I want.
Oh my god, maybe you are Blippi, and this is your secret. All those TV guys end up being fucking pedos. Let's be honest.
Hard not.
I'm just saying. I feel old all the time, and it's fucking terrifying. And that isn't going to go anywhere.
I started off this podcast literally saying I'm in the middle of a midlife crisis, and I wish I was joking.
Oh, fuck, man. Feel sorry for you, bud.
You're gonna see me like roll up in the next one with like friggin' like a Ed Hardy t-shirt on.
Oh
and, like,
hell yeah! Bring back the Ed Hardy.
Yeah. But hey, if you guys really want to feel fucking old, how about a grown man in a silver suit pooping himself? Because we're going back to that now. If you didn't have a midlife crisis before, welcome to the club. Preston's in the silver suit, you know, the one with the camel toe. This is Ball Knocker, says Wee Man. So this is the sketch we didn't get to see in the movie, which is strange. They kind of played a reverse on us here. They put the outtake in the film and put the sketch in the outtake film. So there you go. Wee Man's in the middle here. He's suspended on some wires. And he's got balloons strapped to him. And, well, you guys have seen this before. You know those novelty desk toys where you got the silver balls, you hit one, it knocks into the middle one, knocks the one on the other side out. It rinses and repeats.
If you've ever been in a psychology office, psychotherapist office, you've seen one.
So that's what they're trying to replicate here. So everybody's in silver, including Wee Man. You got the two big boys on either side, elevated above him. And the idea is we're going to drop these two guys at the same time and see how many balloons we can pop. And that's basically it. There's not a whole lot to say. Like, it pretty much goes as you would expect. But I do love Zach's comment that he says afterwards. He says, my asshole hurts, which is so, like, that type of pain is just like miles away from what the sketch is, yet somehow his asshole hurts.
It's funny because this Jackass 4.5 came out right around the time that we had released an episode. It was the episode where Chris randomly started talking about his asshole during one of the reviews.
It hurts when I hear someone when I see someone take a slam. That's why I knew what he was going through over here.
Right.
Okay.
And as someone messaged us, I think it was on YouTube, explicitly saying, Zackass has a moment that is so reminiscent of what Chris did there, which is funny. Now we finally get to see
hilarious.
I apologize if you're out there listening. I can't remember who sent the message, but I didn't take a note on it. It was just something that I thought about. This is a great one. You know what it got me thinking of, though, is like I've been talking about how Wee Man just feels like he seems like he's kind of over it. Like he just like hands in the air, like whatever, I'll be there for the sketch, but like I'm not gonna, like that's his vibe, is like really detached. And I kind of get it now, because every other stunt that he had to be in a past Jackass experience or movie, TV show, whatever, he had one big guy to deal with. He has 100% more problems to deal with now in the form of Zackass, and they're always pinning. Now it's two versus one, and each one of them are 4 of him, so it's 8 versus 1 now. Like, it just, I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, before if you get hit, you move one way. Now he's getting literally sandwiched.
Nowhere to go. Yeah. Oh, dude. I didn't even think of it that way, but you're right. Yeah,
it's
they're
so true.
Really punishing him. It's fucking.
It's like talk about like literally tipping the scales. It's like it's just Wee-Man doesn't stand a fucking chance these days.
I feel like Bam drew this sketch out on paper.
This
like
feels
this has like
a
that
very
Bam
Margera one as well.
Because on paper, this is like the greatest idea ever. Like it was a good stunt, but I don't think it panned out the way that if you told me about it, I would have been like, oh, I like that idea. Yeah. And it was, I mean. It just would have really hurt. Like I wanted, like if it would be one thing if one moved and the other moved, just like they kind of do on the things, but it was just one big car crash. It was literally a car crash that
what it kind of reminds me of is Chris. Remember when we were doing? I think this was in Jackass season 3, and there was the body check episode, the hockey episode, where Johnny Knoxville was taking a bunch of checks on the ice, and we were kind of like, well, it hurts way more than you could ever imagine because body checks on hockey probably just don't show themselves as well. And, and the grand showing of like how big and painful it must be doesn't translate well to the screen. And I think this is the same thing. You're right. Like you have 800 pounds worth of human being coming at you and squishing you. And there's like nothing to really break the fall except for a couple balloons, which, by the way, as they're prepping to do this and they're like, okay, guys, we're ready to go. Everyone says yes. Wee-Man's reaction, he covers his ears as though the thing he's most worried about is the sound of popping balloons. Your priorities are fucked, Wee-Man. You have 2 massive men who are about to crush you, and you're worried about bursted eardrums, I guess. I don't know, man.
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you point that out. I completely forgot about that. But yeah, what the fuck was he thinking there? That's great.
And I think he got KO'd, eh? Like, I think he actually got knocked out for a little bit.
It's pretty gnarly, man. I mean, like, that's a lot of weight coming at you. And I know you might think, like, oh, well, there's a lot of fat on those bones, so it's kind of like getting hit with 2 pillows. But I don't think so. Those are pretty fucking heavy pillows.
Yeah.
It's a car crash. Literally, you got in a car crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one hell of a stunt, and I want to know now if Bam fucking wrote that one out. That's killing me. There's got to be a napkin out there somewhere. But yeah, boys, we're back to something that I think Chris would like here. Pontius brings up the Wild Boys here, another Wild Boys reference. We've got 3 things on the menu: fish, strings, and packages. Yank our packages taut, and that's basically exactly what we're gonna do. So. This is SteveO. He says, I'm SteveO. This is Dine and Dash. He puts a fish up his butt. So it's like, yeah, we've seen this before. I've seen this before. Go watch. You know, you could like randomize all of the episodes of Wild Boys, and there's a good percentage of chance that you're going to have some sort of fish going into SteveO's butt cheeks. So I got some flashbacks here. They're going to have an eagle come and grab the fish. So the eagle lands gently next to him here. And the eagle just kind of has like a nice gourmet dinner out of his asshole. It's like it's way using more great table manners
than you're going to expect.
Yeah, and I was not expecting that at all. I love that, it's not really working, so he asks Johnny, please rub the fish on my balls. Like, they need to get that smell into other areas, so this gets a little more aggressive. And boys, what happens next, it's not as bad as the pogo stick to the nuts, but it looks pretty sore when that bird goes in for a big bite right on that big nutsack.
Yeah, he doesn't quite clip the nutsack, but he gets close. But it turns out like most of the cuts that SteveO has are from like the claws of the bird. Like the biting isn't really the issue here. And it isn't an eagle. I'm pretty sure it's a turkey vulture.
No, it's the same raptors they used in all the other sketches.
That's what I was going to say is, do we think it's the same bird that was in
SteveO goes and says it later on where he's like, I wasn't giving up on this raptor, so...
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, he actually does refer to that. But they have one shot, which is like the grossest angle of a shot in a Jackass movie I've seen. From like under SteveO's balls, you just see a hairy butt crack and hairy balls and a fish out of his ass. And I'm like, this point, I had to pause the movie and be like, did I want to be here at 33 years old? Is this what I wanted to be doing with my life? And the answer is a resounding yes. I can't imagine something I'd rather be doing. But
I'm just shocked, Mikey, that you didn't recognize the jackhammer shot.
The jackhammer shot.
Yeah, that's a classic in pornographic movies. The jackhammer shot is when you get underneath, up close and personal.
That makes sense. Yeah,
for the guys who don't like to look their women in the eyes when they're doing their,
Yeah, I only watch sub porn. I can't watch aggressive men in pornography because it just makes me feel lesser than, knowing that I'll never be able to live up to something like that.
Yeah,
deep,
me
man,
too.
Deep.
Me and Chris just hand
I feel
in hand.
I kind of feel like
watching porn together.
I kind of feel like I should agree with you guys because it's going around, but I don't know if I want to be a part of that family. I think I'm going to divorce myself from this family on this one.
Probably smart.
I don't blame you, bud. The more we've logged hundreds of hours of talking with each other, and if you did, I would think there's something wrong with you.
Yeah,
it's fair. It's fair. Okay, but so this wasn't enough, though. That's the point of this whole thing, guys. This just wasn't enough. Like, yeah, we did the fish in the ass. Yeah, hit or miss. Hey, I got an idea. Let's try to get the Raptor to rip off his eyebrows now. Yeah, SteveO, that sounds like a great idea, doesn't it? This is what Mikey had referenced earlier in our show that it was either Mikey or Chris, so I can't remember who it was, but SteveO was basically so embarrassed after this that he's hiding his fucking eyebrows everywhere. He didn't want to go out. He didn't want to be seen in public. He hated this. He hated the way he looked. But what I love about the sketch here is that when they put that tape over his eyebrows, they tie a string to it, and they're basically just going to let this thing fucking go. What I love here is that SteveO's loving it the whole way through, and you can tell it's because he hasn't seen himself in the mirror yet, and I'm just getting a kick out of that he thinks it was the coolest thing, and I just picture like him going back to his trailer after, and the reaction he must have had when he looked in the mirror. That must have been priceless.
That wide-eyed look on his face when his eyebrows come off, it was just so fast and sudden, and he was like frozen in the moment. He was just like,
well, dude,
you know what I mean?
He manages... And this is a surprise. This is a talent. He manages to convey surprise without eyebrows. That's no easy feat. You know exactly what he's thinking, and he doesn't have the eyebrows to help him out with that.
That is so funny. It's such a good point, honestly, because the eyebrows are exactly what shows that.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does this look so weird and strange? And that's exactly the answer to my question. That's fucking 100%. Awesome.
Did you guys catch what Darkshark said about referencing the birds here and how much he hates them? He says, I'd rather have a bear up my ass than that motherfucker.
Well, no, he said the bear. I think he said the bear, like referring to that already happened.
Yeah, okay, the bear segment. Yeah, I just thought that was.
Imagine if he didn't, though. That would be ironic as fuck. That would be hilarious. Or maybe that's what made them do it.
I was hoping hoping someone was going to join the fray with a joke like SteveO's new name is Steve Alopecia. Would have been pretty good.
That's really good, Mikey.
I would have liked that.
But you can't ever expect me to come in with an actual good joke like that. Like, if it's not pee pee poo poo haha, it's not coming out of my mouth. So anything witty like that, you just got to jump in and fucking give her.
No, I was saying someone on set, like Rachel Wolfson feels like she would have been good for something like that. You know what I mean? Like she has some great one-liners. Not that I'm saying that's not good enough for her to say. She's way funnier than I am, but like, you just kind of want something there. I feel like when you get someone like SteveO on set, though, like any of the old crew, it's very rare that the younger or the newer generation of Jackass are going to come in and try to take the piss out of them. It's almost like there's like too much respect, unless you're poopies who flat out farts on Johnny Knoxville, which is good on him.
I got to ask you, do you guys know for a fact because Pontius makes a comment when he's got the eyebrows on the tape, just like perfectly intact on these strips of tape, surprised eyebrows. Do either of you know, because he makes a comment about, I'm going to sell these for an auction and to raise money. Like, did that happen? Does anybody
I don't know, but if it did, I think we need to pool our listeners, set up a GoFundMe so that the Jackass crew actually buys those fucking eyebrows.
Yeah, would love to see that. But no,
I'm just sitting at night just rubbing them on your face, like, ooh. Jerking off, you know.
I like the idea that they still move when SteveO moves his eyes. Like they move like it's fucking idle hands here, and they're going after Jessica Alba.
Ooh, yeah, fuck, that was a good movie. It wasn't even a good movie. I just fell in love with it from that moment on.
Of course. There is a moment at the end of this one, speaking of Pontius, and it is during that interview, when they just earnestly talk about how much they enjoy working together. That was so sweet.
Best.
It just made me so happy.
It was nice.
I love how they were together interviewing. It's just like they're still such good bros, and it's like I love that so much.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Well, boys, you know what I love so much? You know what I love?
Water skiing?
Want to chant? Yeah, I was gonna say, anybody want to start chanting USA with me?
USA,
weird.
USA, USA.
Chris probably does. Chris fucking loves USA.
I fucking love
US
USA.
listeners. You guys know the majority of our listener base is fucking Americans, right?
Of course.
Neither one of us.
And British and Australian.
Really?
Yeah, what happened to our Canadians? What?
I don't know. Fucking show up, dog. I got like fucking hundreds of friends over here. Fucking obviously no one gives a fuck. Fucking losers. Yeah, I'm talking to you. If you're listening to this right now, then tell me. And I'll know you're my real friend.
There you go. Yeah. I was gonna say if you're talking to them, they're listening. We don't want to insult them.
No, it's like SteveO at the end of his podcast. He always has a secret message for the street team, and then you feel like you're all special because you know he's talking about it. Yeah, he's like, "This is my favorite part. You guys are the real members, sticking around for beginning to end." And I'm like, "That's me. I've been here every episode."
Okay, aside from Chris, is SteveO just still high from all the crack or what? Because like, do street teams actually exist? Are there really people out there going out into the night, putting up flyers and fucking singing the praises of SteveO? You know, in large gangs, preferably, all wearing the same T-shirt with this, yeah, dude.
No eyebrows,
no
bandanas.
Eyebrows. The only eyebrows they have are 2 that they bought from Pontius in a charity auction.
I'm just saying, someone should start the Church of SteveO if that is a thing. All the street team members get together, and buy his shit, right?
They should.
SteveO,
I mean, someone's got to.
Well, what SteveO doesn't like, he'll sell you a surfboard, but he will not sell you on this ramp, boys. Nope. He says, what the hell is that ramp, dude? Like, what kind of sissy operation is this? I mean, and then he found out that they're wearing a rocket pack. So
hell yeah.
All right, I approve of this ramp now.
Did you guys know Poopies was a water skier?
Did not know that. Is he professionally trained? Is he?
Yeah, I know he was a surfer, but I didn't know.
No, apparently he's a water skier as well. They have him coming up here, and he's like, this is one of the things he does. It's him and Parks Bonifay, with a name like Parks Bonifay, you either water ski or you play lacrosse for the Duke lacrosse team. Like it's one or the other. You got to just pick your battle. Yeah.
So we've got middle-aged father Bunny the lifeguard in his bathrobe here. He really just looks like a dad who just got out of the shower and he's getting ready for bedtime here. That bathrobe is thick, but he's looking good. I'm glad to see the bunny outfit has made an appearance here because I thought that was dropped entirely. Poopies has his jetpack on with liquid CO2 and the big red kicker awaits. So we're going to hit the waves and see what we can do. But not before we get a shot of Bunny the lifeguard. Man, that poontang camel toe shot there. Gotta love that. Take 69. Here we go. So, Chris, what'd you think of the song playing in this bit? You like this one, am I right?
I'm trying to remember what song it is. I didn't have it down in my notes.
It's a little tune from the 1980s by the name of Vacation.
Vacation, all I ever wanted. Vacation.
Oh, I don't know it.
I can't sing any more than that because we'll get taken down on YouTube if I sing too accurately.
He's just too good. He's just too fucking good, people. That's all there is to it. I specifically remember you referencing the song somewhere. I'm sure it came up in one of the episodes before, and you were like, "Man, I'm really glad they put that in there." I'm sure that was you.
Well, wasn't there? I'm pretty sure there was a water skiing episode or segment earlier, and they had Vacation on it as well.
Oh, so
okay.
Maybe I'm just tripping out.
Sure
Mikey singing wasn't.
Yeah.
Mikey was purposely down singing it so we didn't get removed for copyright infringement. So maybe I just couldn't figure it out.
It doesn't matter though. Sorry, Mike.
Did you guys like the vibe of this one? Like I really loved this one. A good like water themed stunt, water skiing, or they'll do like the they've done wakeboarding things, or there was the one episode where they were at like a wakeboard park and they were being pulled off the ramps and everything. You get the famous shot of SteveO in the thong getting pulled like 20 feet above the water. I'm always down for a good water skiing thing, and this one gave me vibes that were similar to like the sandbelt skating, which is a stunt. Like, who would have thought we would reference that one as often as we do, or at least I do a lot. But I love the makeshift element of like, there's an idea here. It didn't work out close to what we thought it was going to work out to, but the feeling of like, okay, no, I got it next time. Give me one more and I'll get it. Give me one more and I'll get it. And Poopy's just constantly trying to pull the CO2. The first time he just face plants completely. Like he's not expecting the propulsion. The second time he hits the ramp and like goes over the ramp with the propulsion of the CO2 carrying him over. But
like 1 foot up in the air.
Parks Bonifay, ex-Duke lacrosse player, current water skier, fucking nails it on his first shot. Pulls the CO2, goes right over the ramp, sails through the sky. Probably could have landed it if you gave him another shot. Parks, the hero of this one for sure.
Yeah, it was well done for sure. It's good to see a professional take the reins. I mean, Poopies gave it his best, but it's Poopies after all. You know, like, I don't know. I don't know how many tries it would take to hammer it into his brain to get him, you know, adjusted for that. Like, he just seems like the kind of guy who it's better if he doesn't do things, you know, the way they're supposed to. It's like better that he fucked up, you know? It's funnier. Everybody's losing their shit watching him go. Like I said, there's that second attempt where he's like one ski is up in the air and he's doing like an L with his legs. He's upside down. It's just great. I'm just glad that they put him in the suit, you know? It worked out well.
Yeah, I liked that. It's also like this is a blink and you miss it thing, but there was a Fantasy Island theme going on here because you have Wee Man dressed as the guy who says "Da plane boss, da plane" and rings the bell in Fantasy Island, because the theme is the concept is you're going to go so high off the ramp that you look like an airplane, and you get Wee Man ringing the bell at one point. Otherwise, you don't understand why he was just standing there in a white suit with a mustache and a bowl cut. You're like, what is he doing here? Finally, he rings the bell, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. We get a next little short interstitial here. It's the boxing glove gun, which is basically exactly what it sounds like. Tony Hawk has an apple on his head. It doesn't move when he gets hit.
Why did you call him Tony Hawk, though, Jay? I don't get that.
What did you guys think of Tony Hawk in this one, huh?
Why are you calling him Tony Hawk?
Yeah, Jay.
I'm making a joke at my own expense, goddammit. Can't you get on board?
Jay,
you're trying to make yourself sound better, not worse.
Yeah. If you said Eric Andre, it would have made more sense.
It's Jasper. I picked the skinniest, whitest dude I could think of in the Jackass crew, and I put him there.
Yeah, we know.
Because you motherfuckers. I just thought it'd be a good joke, and nobody laughed. It's fine.
Oh, we just wanted to let you sit in it a little bit, you know, squirm a little, you know.
I'm like Preston in the silver suit right now. I know. No, guys, but you know what? I gotta say this though.
Yeah.
The apple not moving off his head was brilliant. Did you notice that? Like the glove pushes his cheek and jaw to one side. Like Jasper's face is at like a fucking 45-degree angle, and the apple's just sitting there. The
apple does fall off eventually, but it takes way longer. Like in my mind, if that's happening to me, I'm flinching right away. Like I'm that apple's up 1,000 miles in the air. Wee Man's ringing the bell for Fantasy Island. That thing's going so high. But I was impressed with how long he balanced that thing on his head, even after getting nailed by the boxing glove. And then just like tumbling off that block was kind of neat.
Yeah. And I gotta say, the joke at my own expense as well. If you didn't tune into the previous episode where I accidentally had my notes wrong and fucked up, this part makes no sense.
Notes wrong.
It makes me sound like a huge asshole. It's fine. We're moving on. Yeah.
And Jay keeps his notes in his brain.
Jay keeps his notes in his brain.
That was dumb. Fuck.
Yeah, no, it wasn't great. It wasn't great.
Guys,
sorry.
You took a swing and a miss. It's all
I
right.
feel like you know, we could take a swing and go for a few more stunts in this one, but we're getting close to the end of the hour. We usually put hold, and we've got a really big one coming up next. It's some of the outtakes from Aaron's cup test. I think we save those for the next episode so we can really spend a little bit more time on them. But look, it turns out, as we've always said, it takes us about an hour to get through 20 minutes worth of Jackass. This episode being no different.
Yeah, there's a lot here to chew on. And it's fun. Like I'm glad that we are taking our time with it, guys. It's been great going through it piece by piece, and like when this is all wrapped up, that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, you don't get a lot of you're not going to get a lot more of this for a while until the TV show comes out. So let's enjoy it while we can.
Exactly.
But as always, if you're enjoying the show so far and Jackass 4.5, let us know your thoughts, what you're thinking of it. You can always find us, as always, at Jackass Pod on Instagram and Twitter. I know I fuck this up every time. Let's do the MVP.
Well, I was going to say you did it again. That's okay. MVPs, LVPs. I always love doing this one. You know what? I'm going to start us off. I'm going to go MVP of this one, and it's going to be Chris Pontius. Chris just in every time he showed up in this one, whether it was the hot shit water skiing or him on the ski set or him in big game hunting, it just felt like he had, like I've said this before, modern day Chris Pontius, it feels like there's something missing a little bit. Like he's trying to rekindle something. Like maybe he's just trying to put on the old Pontius personality, and sometimes it fits a little awkwardly. In this one, though, it really did feel like he figured it out. He just had that childish kind of vibe to him. He just felt like he was having a fucking blast on set. And when he's like that, you can tell he's everyone's favorite person on set. People are paying more attention to him than the people doing the stunts themselves. So for this one, I'm giving the MVP to Pontius.
I'm going with Knoxville.
Oh,
we
nice.
don't get to see so much Knoxville in between these two things, and between the Harvey, the Irving Zisman stunt, between the back and forth with him and Tremaine, how he's always seems to be there in the background, ready to fuck somebody up. He was part of the elephant gun sketch. Like, this is the most concentrated Knoxville I think we're gonna get out of all the Forever and 4.5. So, got to give it to the captain. El Capo.
I like that.
Nick Merlino for being frame perfect.
Nice.
All right, I like it.
I like that one. He's gave us a bunch of references to anime and Street Fighter. So for that, you get my approval as well. LVP's the least valuable player of this episode. I'm going to give this one to none other than Brad. Go fuck yourself,
that was
Brad.
mine.
I don't like you.
Him.
You had a chance to put up or shut up, and you shut the fuck up. And I wouldn't mind if you stayed that way.
I'm giving it to good old beta cuck Brad.
I didn't get a look at all the dicks in that segment. I mean, I'll go back and watch it if you'd like me to, but
Sure.
Whichever of the old guys had the smallest hog, he's my LVP.
That's a fucking good one, Jay. You're fucking good at these, man.
No,
the LVPs
man,
you crush.
I think that guy should be the MVP for having the balls, no pun intended, to sit out there
No, he
with the
has the balls
smallest dick.
all right, yeah.
You can tell a casting call went out there, and it was basically like average size dicks need not apply. We need the biggest and the smallest, and that's it. And we're just putting them next to each other to show just a chasm. You know what? A lot of people are talking about the death of the middle class. I'm talking about the death of the average size dick on a Jackass set.
Too bad Poopies wasn't a bit older. He could have been in that.
Exactly.
Talk about playing in the field of dicks. There's a quote. I believe it's CKY 3 or 4. We'll get there. That's going to come up. I want to play in the field of dicks. Keep that in your minds, listener. Maybe one day we'll talk about that. I don't know. But you know what? For now, I think we're all done talking about this until we come back for part 3. Yeah, shit. It's been fun. Any closing thoughts, boys? Anything at all?
Yeah, you know what? I'm dragging my feet a little bit when it comes to wanting to close off Jackass 4.5. Like you said, Jay, this could be very well the last new Jackass we get for a couple years even. You never know. Yeah, I know they've greenlit the TV show, but you got to start, you got to cast, you got to film, you got to edit. It could be a very long time since we see that. And it's a little bit of a bummer knowing that. I'd love to get more content sooner, but I don't think it's in the cards.
I concur.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to sit here and watch Chris nod for a few more seconds. Yeah,
You kind of start daydreaming. I figured out a way that I could smoke my hookah while we're doing this without the bubbling noise messing up the audio. There's that mute button right in front of me. I can't believe I never thought about that before.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just wanted to maybe Mikey. I'm surprised Mikey's not pissed off about that because I could have been doing it the whole time every time I had to touch something. But yeah.
It's fine. I've just given up on thinking editing this is going to be easy because I legitimately have to go through your entire audio and cut out every moment you're not talking. Little peek behind the curtain.
All right. I gotta the referee's gonna blow the whistle now. That's it. Game over. What are you doing? He's being a dick.
You couldn't hear me, could you? I was testing it out.
He's doing a nice visual joke for this audio podcast.
Well, I was on mute. It has to be fucking visual.
Okay.
All right, let's wrap it up, please.
Let's just end the show.
I'm pulling a J here.
How does it feel?
Pretty good, actually. Now I know
I'll
how
be
you
honest.
do it.
Feels pretty shitty for me still. No changes. Net neutral. I'll say that. Doesn't matter who's dragging their feet. It sucks.
Bye. I'm Jason Wells.
Bye, I'm Chris Aaronworth.
Bye, I'm Mikey Aaronworth. And this has been Jackast.
Furnished by Sad Styles Productions.
Get into it.